So to do this job, all you'll need is the Motion Pro TORS Delete Kit, a drill, and a couple of screwdrivers. So this blaster had the TORS problem where it was cutting spark. So I tied the two wires, the yellow and black one, together, and then you're left with a blaster that runs but won't idle right. So they sell this kit and it's pretty straightforward. You just start by removing the carburetor, getting the gas line out of the way, undo this little ear back here that's on the airbox side, and it just sits on that little tab back there. So you just remove your airbox side and then you can pull your carburetor straight out. Going up top now to the throttle cable, you just undo these 3 screws. And then you unhook your throttle cable. Now you can remove the slide from the old throttle cable. And it's really easy to get the slide out. All you do is retract the spring and turn it upside down, and this little locking tab will basically just fall out and you can unhook the cable. Now you can reinstall your new lid, the old spring, and make sure you install the gasket into the new lid, and then you just reinstall the cable, that little clip, and you're good to go. Now you can start drilling where the new idle screw is going to be. Make sure you start drilling on the same side that the choke is. And we're all the way through. Now I'm just giving the carburetor a good clean. You want to make sure you are cleaning as you go. That way no metal shavings get stuck down in the bowl and end up in your pilot jet or your main jet. And I did also take my float bowl off. It was actually clean in there. So you might not have to. I just did off camera just to make sure that my carb didn't have any metal shavings down there. And then you can tap new threads. This is really one of 2 parts that kind of require any extra attention. The tap that the Motion Pro kit comes with doesn't really inspire much confidence. So all I really recommend is taking your time and also back threading as you're going through. I've heard plenty of stories of people breaking the taps off in there. So like I said, just take your time and go slow. If it gets too tight, spin it backwards and then clean it out, and then start doing your threads again. So it's better to take your time versus ending up with a broken tap stuck in your carburetor. So Once you're all the way through and you have new threads, you'll be good to go. And there'll be plenty of metal shavings after you put new threads in. So again, you want to make sure it's clean. And I'm just looking at threads and making sure they're clean. Here's the idle screw. And here's the part where it engages with the slide. You can see it's tapered there. So as you screw the idle screw in, it'll pull up on the slide, giving the bike more air and more fuel, so you can control your idle. Here's a little test demonstration, and I wasn't getting much adjustment here. This is all the way in, as getting maybe a millimeter of adjustment. That's out, that's flat. So what I ended up having to do was cut a piece off of that little ear that was sticking out where the idle screw goes, and I just cut off like another millimeter, and that was enough adjustment that all that I needed. So I just broke out the Dremel and cut off another millimeter or so. That way I could get some more adjustment. And as you can see now, it's flat, and I've got a little more room in there so I could get more adjustment. Now you can reinstall your throttle cable. Try to reroute it as close to the way it came off as possible. Now you can just re-screw your throttle cable back in to the housing. Now you can reinstall your throttle cable. And check the action. And there are actually two ways you can adjust your throttle cable tension. One up here on the handlebars and one down on the new Motion Pro TORS Elite cap. I just screw this one back in because I'm pretty happy with it. I did make an adjustment down here, and then there's a little 10mm locking nut. So after you make your adjustment, make sure that's tight.